Guam wakes to another peaceful morning, completely unaware that history is about to change forever. For decades, this small island has served as America's most important military fortress in the Pacific. Every day, bombers, fighters, and cargo aircraft move through Andersen Air Force Base without interruption. Powerful naval forces patrol nearby waters, protecting America's front line in Asia. Inside American command centers, everything appears completely routine. Thousands of kilometers away, another command center quietly shifts its attention toward Guam. Missile crews receive encrypted orders that had remained sealed for years. At sea, one of the largest naval deployments in modern history quietly begins moving east. American reconnaissance satellites detect the movement almost immediately. Within minutes, intelligence officers realize this is no ordinary military exercise. The first launch vehicles move into firing position. Across Guam, emergency procedures begin as bomber crews race toward their aircraft. Without warning, dozens of ballistic missiles roar into the sky, all heading toward a single destination. Within minutes, the missiles are racing across the Pacific at several times the speed of sound. On Guam, missile defense crews have only seconds to react. Interceptor missiles launch immediately, attempting to stop the incoming attack. Some incoming missiles are destroyed high above the island, but many continue through the defensive shield. The remaining warheads begin their final descent toward Guam. Seconds later, the first impacts tear through Andersen Air Force Base, turning the peaceful morning into chaos. America's most important Pacific air base is suddenly fighting for survival. Emergency sirens spread across the island as thousands race to find shelter. Fuel depots erupt into flames, creating explosions visible for kilometers. The fighters that remain operational scramble into the sky before the runways disappear. Hundreds of kilometers away, Chinese stealth fighters continue advancing toward the battlefield. American warships immediately join the fight, launching wave after wave of defensive missiles. The battle is no longer limited to missiles. Cyberspace becomes another front in the conflict. Military satellites constantly track every movement, feeding real-time intelligence to commanders on both sides. Despite desperate efforts, much of the airbase is already out of action. Unmanned aircraft continue searching the vast Pacific, tracking every hostile movement. As Guam burns behind them, the battle expands across the Pacific, marking the beginning of one of the largest naval confrontations in modern history. Inside the Pentagon, military leaders realize this is no longer just an attack on Guam. Emergency meetings begin as Washington prepares its response. Commercial shipping grinds to a halt as Guam's ports shut down. Financial markets around the world immediately react to the growing crisis. As uncertainty spreads, millions begin preparing for a conflict that could last much longer. Critical shipping routes become increasingly dangerous as military operations expand. America's allies rapidly strengthen their own defenses across the region. Across Asia, military aircraft begin launching in unprecedented numbers. The United States rushes reinforcements toward the Pacific, preparing for a much larger fight. From space, the damage is impossible to ignore. Guam has become the center of a conflict that now threatens the entire Pacific. America immediately begins preparing a massive counteroffensive across the Pacific. Strategic bombers receive new orders as long-range strike missions are rapidly organized. The largest American naval response in decades begins crossing the Pacific. Chinese commanders closely monitor the situation, waiting to see how Washington responds. Within only a few hours, one of America's most important military bases has been devastated. As darkness falls, rescue operations continue across the island. Governments around the world scramble to prevent the conflict from expanding even further. The Pacific has become the center of the world's attention. Even after the destruction, Guam remains a symbol of America's determination to hold the Pacific. If America ever lost Guam, the consequences would reshape military strategy, global trade, and the balance of power across the Pacific. Fortunately, this is only a hypothetical scenario, but it reveals just how important one small island has become.